finally. So, took ages for my camera to come on then. Hi, it's me, Vicki Marie. Hope you've all enjoyed your Easter weekend. Anyway, I'm making this video. It won't be a long video. It's just a very short video to tell you what I am going to be doing a video on next. So I was thinking all these things that have come up, and been brought to attention by the Nicola Bulley case about the menopause. About menopause. So is this, one thing I have found out is it's called different things in different parts of the world. Anyway, we're going to have a chat about this. One of my chats. Hope you enjoy these chats. I'm going to have a chat about this and my thoughts on it and the way it's sort of presented and it. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing in the main video. I did originally think, men aren't going to be interested in this video, but do you know what? What I want from you, from my lovely chatters, if you like, I want to know what your thoughts are, what if you've been through it, what your experiences of it are. What if you haven't been through it yet? Maybe your mother did, or maybe going through perimenopause, which is the stage before menopause. What do you think of it? How do you think? And if you're a man, maybe your partner's gone through it, or again your mother, or you'll know somebody who's gone through it. I think just the fact of we say going through it is a negative thing, isn't it? I'm going to try and change this because it's driving me absolutely mad. And this case of Nicola has just made me even angry about it, and the way it can be just held up as, somebody. But I don't want to take away from the fact that I do know that some people do suffer when they're going through it, because it affects your hormones and the way you think, and it can make you depressed, etc. You come into a completely different stage in your life. You can no longer have children. You might not want any more children or any children, but there's nothing worse than somebody saying to you can't have them, to make you start to want them. It's like anything in life. And although I'm lucky to have been blessed with one child, before I had my child, I didn't think I was going to have any, and I literally had got to a point where I was like desperate for children. I was just over 30. Everybody else seemed to be having children around me, and I'm thinking, why have I never had a child? And maybe I can't have children. And there's various reasons. The partner I was with at the time, he couldn't have children, which I hadn't known before we got together. Again, I'm sorry to keep going, but it's all in this book. I can't talk about it all just in one video. But in the Confessions of a Spanish Teacher book, it's available on Amazon, most of this is explained. So, at the time that I got pregnant, we were actually looking at artificial insemination, so that, again, that's another story. But so, yeah, when you come to the menopause, when women come to the menopause, means that's one of the things that it means, that you won't, even if you wanted children, more children, you can't have them. And even if you didn't want them, now that decision's been taken away from you. So I want to know about that, if anyone's, found that of particularly different things, because, you might think, oh, well, why would you want children if you go, but, you can go through the menopause quite early. Some women go through it very early. Some women go through it very late, in their late 50s. Some go through it in their 40s. I'm not going to talk about Nicola Bulley in this case, because I don't think that was the reason. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it in this video. So that's what I want to know. What were your experiences with it? Did you go through early menopause? How did that affect you? I want to dispel all the myths about the menopause, or about menopause. I'm going to have to start calling it menopause because it sounds so much better than the menopause. What helped you get through it? How did you get through it? Some people, personally, I didn't think I had any symptoms, or, I had no hot flushes or hot flashes, as they call them in America, I think. I live in Spain, so it's quite hot here most of the time. Anyway, maybe I was having them all the time, but so, at 40 degrees, you know, how do you know if it's a hot flush or you're just hot? But yeah, were you supported by your partner, your friends, your family, etc.? Were doctors helpful? Did you find it helpful when you went to the doctor, etc.? Were you offered medicine like, or HRT or antidepressants, or have you tried some natural remedies? What natural remedies do you think are good and that work? Because I want to make this so it helps people who are perhaps either going through it, or any woman is going to go through it at some stage. So if you're not going through it yet, if you're not at an age where you're going through it yet, the better prepared that you are, obviously helps. But I want to dispel the myths. That's the main thing that I want to do. So yeah, natural remedies. What were your mechanisms of coping if you have been through it? What things do you think you can contribute to this discussion? Now, you can either leave your comments in the chat from this video, which obviously I always read in the comments. I always read through all the comments. But I won't answer those comments on there because I'll take them on board for the video that I'm going to make, you know, the complete video that I'm going to make about the actual about menopause, exactly. And this, we need a new name, don't we? We need a new name for it. I'm going to think of one before that. I'm going to start calling it something else because I don't like the actual name, you know. So anyway, we've got to think of it something more positive, so that when people say, because there are positive things about it, I mean, there's a lot of positive things. I mean, for a start, you don't have to worry about getting pregnant. You don't have to worry about periods every month. You don't have to, it's expensive, all the things you have to buy. I mean, they've just made like period toiletries free, haven't they, in Scotland? And they should be free. I mean, they're a necessity. They're not a choice. It's not something that you know, you don't think, oh yes, I think I'll get some tampons, you know, like as a luxury item. They're not luxury items. They're essential items, medical items in a way. You know, you need them, and they're expensive. And you know, there's enough people struggling out there, can't pay their electricity bills and buy food, and then imagine not being able to buy your Tampax, etc. I mean, or having to sort of cut. I mean, it's terrible. So they should be free. I think they should be free. Maybe we should start a campaign about that. So, you know, so, and yeah, for those of you, you know, it's to let your daughters know. I mean, I do remember my mum going through it. I wasn't very sympathetic. I'll be 100, you know, I was a typical teenage girl, not really very sympathetic about whatever she was going through, but I remember things now that she said. So yeah, there are some positive things about it, but there's negative things. You know, you have to start perhaps thinking about your health more, you know, because you're not producing estrogen and things like that. So you have to think about your hair and your skin, etc., because you're not producing those natural hormones. So we have to think about that. So let me know if there's any way you know that, you know, that helps for that might be good advice for people out there, how to get through it. We're not going to say no, we're going to say how to cope with it, how to manage it, how to turn it into a positive experience rather than a negative experience. So what do you think? So that's what I'd like to do in a video. So if you don't want to display your questions or your input publicly, you can email me in complete confidence, literally any email that I receive, unless you tell me you don't, you know, you want me to say it out loud or mention your, I won't be reading. For me it'll be said somebody emailed and said this. There will be no, you know, no disclosure whatsoever. If you don't, unless you want it, you know, some people are quite happy to put their comments in chat, and you know, that's fine. Other people don't. So whatever you want. So if you don't want to put your comments publicly in chat, please send me an email to the email that'll be in the description box of this video. And I'm going to put a video together with as much advice, as much positive commentary that I can make about this stage in a woman's life, an inescapable stage of a woman's life, because I know when you're young you don't think about it, of course, and why should you? You've got a long way to go, but you know, maybe you should start preparing yourself, or maybe there are things you can do when you're younger that help later on with the coping mechanisms for it. So it's interesting, isn't it? It's a popular topic at the moment, which is, I think, why it was brought up in by Nicola's partner. It is a popular topic at the moment. People are speaking about it, but I think we've got to be very careful. As I said in the last video, we cannot make this a stick to beat women with. We can't have it, oh well, people being dismissed because they're going through it, and that we can't have that. We've just got to accept it. You know, it's strange because it's a private thing in one way, but of course it's a natural thing in another way. But you know, a lot of people have been saying, you know, it's my opinion that the information that was disclosed about Nicola, imagine, I just think if that was a man who was going through erectile dysfunction or some sort of male problems that men get as they get older, and then that was disclosed, you know, the guy's gone missing, and then it was disclosed, oh well, he was a bit depressed because he was suffering from erectile dysfunction. I mean, I just think that's terrible. You know, it wouldn't happen, would it? So why did it happen with poor Nicola? But anyway, so that's what I'm going to do in the next video. That's what I'm going to chat about. So please give me any comments that you feel might be relevant, and as I say, I won't mention people personally in that, but I will put together then a video of all your concerns, and the most important thing I'd like to know from people who have gone through it, what were the coping mechanisms for you? What helped you? You know, was it HRT? I personally would never take HRT because I'm one of those people who doesn't even like taking an aspirin because it's just the way I am, and it's not good. I'm the opposite of you know, so HRT I really, I'd be probably quite scared of, but I know a lot of people have taken it and they think it's fantastic. So what's been your experience? What have you? Even simple things like changing your milk, soya, people have said have helped. There are various natural remedies, or natural, it's not remedies, you can't cure it because it's not a disease, but natural, what's the word I'm looking for, is something that, a natural aid, if you like, rather than taking a chemical medicine. You can take natural remedies. Remedies. I've got to change all my language. I've noticed I'm trying to get very aware of the way I talk about this and try and talk about it in a positive way rather than a negative way. So thanks for listening to me chatting on, but yeah, please let me know. So the most input as possible, and then I'm going to put together this video and we'll see if we can turn this into a positive conversation. Thank you. Oh, and always remember to live and love very carefully and wisely. And may your God go with you. Thank you.